So this week's topic for the Amuna Mondays was letting go and moving on. So the reason I chose that topic was simply because there's a lot of people, like I've experienced a lot of people or heard about a lot of experiences that have happened like years ago or like a nice amount of time ago, and still like holds a place in these people's heart or head or mind, whatever it is, and it's holding them back from like experiencing life a certain way. Like they're so stuck on this certain experience, whether it's negative or positive. Most of the time, though, it unfortunately is negative. Like whether it's a bad experience in school or towards a teacher or rabbis or parents or whatever it is, and it just like sits in them, and it like they just can't get over it, and they'll shame the whole thing, like, oh, like, oh, yeshiva is just not for me. It's like, all right, I get it, you had a bad experience with it, but at like some point you got to just let that go, let that experience, they have like a bad experience or something, whether it's a parent, anything that was said to somebody or done to somebody, and it's like they carry it with them, and in a way it's like you're not meeting your potential. You're not it's not possible to meet your potential carrying something like that with you, because it's holding you back from doing and saying or experiencing things that you're supposed to experience. And so like that's the reason for like I chose that topic, was because it's just something that I feel so many people, I think everybody has that one thing that they just can't forgive, or can't let go. And this is more like a way to a new understanding, like a way to look at it, so that you could finally let those things go and see what the amazing things that like life has for you. Like most people are experiencing things on a regular basis and they can get over it, but then we're talking about something that happened years ago, even who knows, it could be month, a day. Every single day is a new day, and like carrying anything negative with you into the next day is only holding you back from experiencing that day to its fullest potential. And so the thing is, like, how do you let it go? How do you, like, some things you just can't let go. And it's fair, but it comes down to a mindset. It comes down to a mindset thing, I believe, that if you can carry yourself in a certain mindset and have this mindset of, you know what, there's nothing in this world that God gives you that you can't handle. You experienced it, somebody, let's say, stole or cheated you in business or whatever it is. It's like, again, forgiving is totally different than being okay with somebody. Forgive them, move on, let it go. You don't ever have to associate with them again. Doesn't mean there's bad tension. You completely are fine with them, but you're moving on. You're putting the past in the past. Everything, if somebody robbed you or assaulted you or anything, and it now changed the way you think. It changed the way you look at things. It changed the way you experience things. And that could be the whole entire reason it happened. So like one person, let's say, God forbid, he gets into an accident, it's going to change the way they react, they drive, they look at traffic scenarios, whatever it is. Like, it's just how it is. Like, they look at life differently because of it. If somebody cheated you in business, you're going to look at a future business partner or business things differently, a certain way. And those are all steps. It's all a process. And the fact is, if it happened to you or you experienced it, there was a reason for it. There's a lesson to be learned from it. There's something too positive to get out of it. Not sit and be like, no, this happened to me and I'm blah blah blah, and just hold a grudge for like the rest of your life. Because when you hold that grudge, you're not opening. It's not possible to take the good things that the world's offering you. You're just negative. You just have that little spark of negative in you, and it can just inflame into like this whole entire crazy fire. So like, why not just like put it out right when it begins? Like, whatever somebody did, that was yesterday, that was a year ago, that was 2 years ago. Let it go. Let it go, and trust the fact that Hashem gave you this thing. This thing happened to you for a reason. And yeah, maybe it maybe spiraled into this whole thing that now your plans aren't the way you planned for them, all because of this one person or one experience. And like, I get that. That's fine. And the fact is, Hashem understands that too. And it's all a reason. All that, there's meant for you to be able to take that and still reach your goal and still reach your potential. But now there's two ways to that street. If you don't take that and take a positive out of it and do all this, you're just going to take the negative. You're just going to take the negative route and go down this whole negative path. You're never going to reach your potential. You're not going to reach your goal in life. You're going to feel like unaccomplished. Nothing's going on in life. You're just going to feel empty inside. And there's so much more to life. Like, people can be 20 years old and experience crazy things. You can be 70 years old and still learn. Like, there's so much to life. It's like, why let one thing that happened to you change your whole life? You have your whole life ahead of you. You're still alive. You go into a hospital and just walk in and see all these people that can't do certain things. What's one person doesn't have a leg, God forbid, an eye, or whatever it is. And it's like, it's sad that like that's what it takes for somebody to experience the fact and appreciate the fact that they have all these things. It's like, why do we have to see people that don't have to appreciate what we do have? And that can be another reason why some people have like go through certain things the way it is. Like, some things are so public, some things are so hidden. There's a reason. If it's hidden, it's most likely because it's very personal. Maybe it's something you should work on. Maybe you. But now, my accident, for example, was very personal to me. Obviously, there's details to it that are extremely personal, but in general, a lot of people knew about my accident. But I don't believe the public aspect of it was for me to understand. That's, I think, for other people to get out of it, whether it's safety or positivity or whatever it is. But now the things that were like internal are for me to get. And like, everybody has experiences, and it's like, you're not like a puppet. You should never feel like a puppet, like, oh, I have to experience this so that other people can learn from me. Like, why do I have to be the example? That's not true. There's way more to it. That might be one aspect of it, that you are now an example for others, but that's not the reason it happened. You're not put in this world to just be an example for people. I don't think that's a goal in life. That's not a goal in life, to just be an example of what not to do. There's no such thing. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe that. So I believe, like, when something negative or something you go through an experience that really can mess you up, and you take the positive out of it, you're now trained your mind, your heart, to go a certain way and trust the fact that everything's happening and this plays a huge purpose in my life. Somehow, I don't have to know, I don't have to understand it, but God's plan is always better and always will be better than yours. And when you know that, it's not like you don't have free will. You have free will, because again, you can still choose the negative aspect. But it's like, why? Why would you choose the negative aspect? Why would not just have your goals align with God's, and try to figure out whatever God's goal is? Try to make goals surrounded by the fact, like, guided by where God's taking you, you know? And who knows where those goals will lead. And it's a tough thing to do, but I think it's mostly of a mindset thing. When you just understand that this person did this to you, that you experienced this in your life, and yet you're still in this world, you're still alive, you're still waking up, you're still talking, you're still whatever you are in this world, it's playing a role in it currently. And there's a positive to it, because God will not give you something that you can't handle. You're not just put in this world to just cause negativity and to cause things. It's choices. You have choices, and that's where the free will comes in. So you can do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, why not align it with God and then see where it takes you? Because it's far better than you'll ever imagine. And once you let go, moving on is it just comes naturally. But you have to, the letting go is the hard part. And that's where letting go comes in. It's like, you know what? This person wronged me. All right. I don't ever have to speak to them again. I forgive them, though. And there must have been a lesson to it from somewhere. And try to find it. Figure it out. And once that message hits you, it's a mindset thing. And it's just upwards from there. But yeah, that was the topic. It was about, like, letting go and moving on. Life's so, like, has so much to offer. And it's out there. The world's huge. Opportunities are around every day, every minute of the day. So, like, why let one thing dictate your, like, downward spiral? Just let it go and move on. Let it brush right off, and tomorrow's the next day, the next day's the next day, next year's next year. You know, you don't have to bring in anything negative with you if you don't want to. It comes down to a choice. It's not an easy choice, but it comes down to a choice. So just make the right one and go with God. All right, have a good one.